Carolina woman's remained found embodied in concrete in her basement?
No, I did not.
I did. Yeah, they found this missing person here, 6 weeks. I don't really even know how they even. I mean, I guess maybe it just looked like the concrete looked too new in the basement. But apparently, the caretaker killed this woman, blunt force trauma and strangulation, and then encased her in concrete. And the detectives was like, "I've never seen anything like this in my life." And I read the article and I was like, I've seen it in a lot of movies and TV shows. Yeah, like, it's probably the #1 way to get rid of a body on TV.
Encased in concrete. Yeah. They do it a lot. They do it That's
pretty wild, man.
Sometimes, I mean, when you pulled it up, I was like, yeah, I've seen it. But now that I read, I guess it's current enough so that I haven't seen it. But I've seen it a lot. People do it.
You know, and I just think to myself, like, we watch all these shows and we don't hear about serial killers anymore. Name one. We don't. Not like
they're out there.
Well, yeah, they're definitely out there. One of them duct taped that dude in that plane. We talked about that. He's definitely a serial killer out there. But you don't hear about it. Like when we watch, they're so glorified on TV and in movies and in shows. The whole like Dexter's
glorified.
Glorified for sure. Yeah, they're glorified. We watch them because it's enticing, and we're interested in the entire concept of serial killers. And people are fascinated by them, but we don't talk about them in the real world. You know they're out there. You know there's people just fucking disappearing.
Oh, no doubt.
And someone out there. Look, first of all, if you're a writer and all you write are horror movies and serial killer movies, you know what I mean?
So, yeah, I know.
People are out there thinking about it a lot. They just bring a lot of thought into it, but it has to be happening, and we just don't talk about it.
I mean, when they catch them, I suppose it makes the news when they catch them. It's
hardly ever. Who's the last serial killer?
Well, I'll say this: there's guys they catch. They caught a dude that was like the fence. He used to like jump fences. Did you ever hear about that dude? Fences. He was a cop in California. A night stalker, I think they called him, or something. And he was a big time serial murderer. But he stopped murdering people for a long time ago.
All right. Well, look, here's a list on Wiki of the most recent list of serial killers in the United States identified. The most recent one was 1990. So how is that possible?
1990 was the most recent serial killer?
What it says.
That's 30 years ago. I found that hard to believe.
That's who yeah, because they haven't caught him. The Long Island serial killer. When was this? Jeff Davis, 8 killers between 2005 and 2009. 8 women between the ages of 17 and 30 were dumped in the swamps of Jefferson Davis Parish, Louisiana.
I'll tell you what. Look,
there should be more. That's all I'm getting at.
Here's the thing, I guess.
There's more out
there. It's hard to understand about all that. And I guess why I've never been as fascinated about it. You talk about something that we have not discussed on this show at all, is religion. And for me, I don't understand. Like, I feel like if I do something wrong, if I do somebody wrong, I can almost immediately see the negative impact that it has on my life. Something will go bad almost right away, and I can be like, okay, that just happened. That just happened to me because of this bad thing that I just did. And that's just how I think. And I feel like it's always God telling me, hey man, I want you to do good things. You just fucked up and did something mean. You just fucked up and did something bad. So I'm teaching you a lesson. And what I don't understand is these serial killers, they kill people, first of all, savagely and brutally. And in torturous ways. You know, the people that get killed by serial killers are they're not just shooting them in the head. Some of them do, but a lot of them, they kidnap them, they torture them, they terrorize them, they bury them, they keep them confined. There was a guy who I heard about who kept a woman in his house, and every night he had a box that he would lock around her head filled with foam so that she couldn't make any noise. I'm like, man, I can think of nothing more terrifying in the world than having a box filled with foam around my fucking head.
Yeah,
it's fucking horrible. But this guy did this for years. And I'm like, how did he suffer no repercussions? How did he not? He's obviously, how is that allowed to happen? And I don't know what your thoughts are, but I believe in God. And I believe it should be God's responsibility to make sure shit like that doesn't fucking happen. If we're truly fighting evil, and my life I spent wanting to fight evil, wanting to prevent bad things from happening, wanting to not do bad things myself. I don't understand how that shit happens. And I know you don't like, obviously you don't like discussing. You haven't said a fucking word.
I'm listening, and I'm doing a little bit of digging, because I find it odd that there's not like a more, like when I like Google like serial killers right now, or most recent ones.
I've never.
Why is there not more information about that? I'm kind of.
Well,
I'm kind of dumbfounded, because
I would just guess. Maybe they're not interested in teaching people how to become a serial killer. Maybe they want nobody to be a serial killer.
Well, look, that's what they're saying. They're saying that people don't hitchhike anymore. What else we got here? They have the means of reaching out in an emergency situation using cell phones. There are cameras everywhere. Children are less vulnerable because parents don't leave them home alone supervised. Motivation for a mass killer versus a serial killer tends to be different. Yeah, so we're not counting someone who shoots a lot of people at one time. We're talking about someone who kills pretty much individuals, 3 or more.
Well, do you know how they define? Yeah, 3 or more.
3 or more. People. But this is saying that the number of serial killings has supposedly fallen. So too has the murder cases.
They put the serial killers out of business.
Yeah, they've just stopped serial killing. Interesting.
I mean, I'm glad.
In 1987, there were 198 separate serial killers active in the United States. That's a lot. That's at least like 5 per state almost, right?
That's
like,
a lot of serial killers.
It's a lot. Yeah, compared to only 43 in 2015 and 2 in 2019.
Good.
So if there's anything that you should take from this, it's that whatever we're doing,
good.
There's less serial killers.
That's good.
You're not getting serial killed.
Well, that's nice.
We are killing a lot of people at one time. That has gone up. Serial killers have gone down.
Well, and there's a lot of people out there just blowing people away. I mean, they're not serial killing. They're just independently going around and killing people. There was a thing in New York the other day. This woman just got out of her car, walked across the street,
saw
blew
that.
a woman away. Just boom, you're dead. And then got back in her car
and left. What was that about?
What the fuck?
What was that about?
I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
That was
today
crazy.
at my job. We had a guy dancing around in his underwear in the middle of the restaurant.
Nothing else on?
Underwear, pants. He had underwear. He had just underwear. He had a shirt, regular shirt, and he was wearing boxer briefs.
Okay.
And he was dancing.
Did he show up with pants?
No, he had no pants on.
So when he got there, he had no pants on.
He got there, he had no pants on. He ate, and they let him eat. Then after his meal, he just started dancing around the restaurant, and everybody was freaking out and came running into the kitchen. And they're like, oh my God, that guy is out there dancing around the restaurant in his underwear. And I thought to myself, I was like, well, you let him stay here and eat in his underwear.
The first thing that you should have came to mind was, does anyone have duct tape? But you did. You let him in with underwear on, like boxers?
I mean, I didn't make the choice. He wasn't in my section. He was sitting somewhere else. He came in. I remember one of the bus boys.
Describe this man to us. Describe this man.
He's in his red underwear.
Red underwear. What was his shirt on? Do you have a funny shirt?
Like a Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt, like a button-up.
Like a button-up Hawaiian kind
of party.
Colorful.
How old was this gentleman?
I will say.
Guesstimated.
35 to 40, somewhere there.
That's about my age.
Probably.
In a Hawaiian shirt, red boxers. What do you eat? What do you have to eat?
I didn't serve him. I did. Once he got sat,
crabs.
He sat in a booth. He ate crabs. But then afterwards, I guess he liked it. We do have a lot of very catchy songs that play. We have very catchy music.
What was he dancing?
At the Juicy Crab.
What was he dancing?
I don't remember, but he was dancing, and everybody comes in, and they're freaking out. Those young girls there. We have a whole section, a to-go section that's run by all 16 to 18-year-old girls. So there's probably 6 to 7 of them up at the front running our to-go area. And and the hostesses are right there. So you have all of them all together. They are like a big sorority of young girls who hang out together, and they were freaked out.
Really?
Freaked out.
They should have been filming that on TikTok.
They were not. They were not. They were not laughing. They were not. They were scared.
What were they scared for?
I don't know. I didn't see him actually dancing. I knew that there was nobody else in the building to resolve the situation, so I resolved it.
All right.
And according to my coworkers, I resolved it like a G.
Like a G?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was told.
All right.
But this is not about me. This is about the guy that was doing it. I'm just saying there's people out there doing weird shit, man. Just weird shit. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to encounter. And everything's on video. So everyone's like, you were like, why didn't they video it?
Hey, why not?
Most people think that.
Let's see it.
He was starting to harass other guests.
Okay.
He was beginning to go up to tables and do table dances in his underwear in front of people. So he had to go.